and trusting my mechanic. I want him to look at everything that's going on. You guys can all walk underneath there, it won't fall. I don't think it will. Jeremy, can put it on you? It won't fall. You know, I want to start looking at different situations here. And now this one here is a perfect situation if you come around over here. So many times I've had on this front side, come around the front side here, watch the floor, it's water there. This right here, this is what ticks me off as a car geek. So many times you get a shop that'll come in and they'll say, oh, and I'm sorry I'm going to do this, ladies, but the shops pick on the women so bad and it frustrates me. They come in, they say, ma'am, look at this, you have an oil leak. We need to put a new oil pan gasket on this.
$400 oil pan. I said, no, there's nothing wrong with it. It was a $12 part that was up above.
Well, and that could be. I'll show you the difference there in a second. But the thing I'm getting at here is they come in, they say, see that? That's an oil leak. You need to get that fixed. Well, you know what? They're wrong. We have two components here, two metal components, and we have a gasket in here. Now, we've had some seepage or weepage here, but this is not wet. This is not dripping. I mean, it's dry. It's grease. Yes, some oil has come through the gasket. Not enough that it's ever dripped onto the ground. Okay, and you can see there's no drippage here. Okay, there's no drippage here. I replaced your oil pan because of that. I just took advantage of you. Okay. So, and you want to look at the situation here too. When I look at this here, I need a light. Always have a light, right? Bringing up the situation that she had. They said, oh, you need an oil pan gasket. And it was probably an oil pressure sending unit, probably a $12 sending unit that was leaking up above. Now, I look at this situation here, and right here, this was a seepage from the pan. I look up above, and it's dry. Now, I get them from time to time. They come to me and they say, oh yeah, it needs an oil pan gasket, it needs valve cover gaskets, you need an intake manifold gasket. Well, the valve covers and the intake are up on top. And if those are leaking, which they probably are, where's that oil running? It's running down. So do I need an oil pan gasket? How do I know? I don't. Not until I do the top one, fix the top ones and clean it up. But yeah, that there is not a leak, and when the mechanic comes out and says, hey, you need an oil pan gasket, I want you to walk out and look at it, and when you see something like that, that's when you want to say, I want you to say, would you please put my car down so I can leave? Because I no longer trust you. I no longer like you. Okay? That is, they'll get it all the time, you know, this one here doesn't. But you'll see
so is it better before you take your car in to get a car wash with the underbelly cleaned?
You know, no. You know, if it was, in some ways, yes, it could be, it's good, because it's keeping it clean and everything. But as far as like oil leaks and that, you want your mechanic to see if it has a leak, okay?
But won't it leak even after you washed it?
Yes, it will, but you could, you know, if you clean it up, it could make it to where they don't see that leak today. Where if it's leaking, you know.
If you come straight from the car wash to the shop, they might not see the drip. But
a week before.
Yeah, a few days before and drive a little bit.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt it. No, that'd be fine. So.
What about $300 for a new gasket with oil pans?
I know. These newer ones are so easy compared to the old cars. Okay, yeah, come on around here.
Oh, there you go.
Now we're starting to see, you know, around the front side here. Come around the front side. Now when my mechanic comes out and says, hey, we have a leak here that we need to be looking at and addressing, and you see this type of deal where it's wet, you know, now we need to be looking at this. You know, over time, this has had enough grease on it before that it wasn't a leak, but it was seepage just a little bit. But now we do have a leak. This one actually looks like it's a simple leak. It looks like it's leaking around the oil filter, just a little bit. So that's the stuff we want to look at when we're going into a shop.